What if I told you that the character everyone thinks is the strongest in One Piece isn't even in the top 3? And what if Oda has been leaving clues about the true power hierarchy for over 2 decades that most fans completely missed? Welcome to One Piece Uncovered, where we dive deep into the mysteries, theories, and hidden truths of the greatest story ever told. Today we're settling the debate once and for all. Who are the actual strongest characters in One Piece? And why does the community keep getting it wrong? Before we jump into the rankings, we need to establish what strength actually means in the One Piece world. Because this is where most fans make their first mistake. They assume strength is just about raw, destructive power or who can punch the hardest. But Oda has shown us time and time again that the strongest characters are defined by 3 core elements. Combat ability, yes, but also Haki mastery and something most people overlook completely: influence over the world itself. Think about it. Whitebeard was called the strongest man in the world, but his true power wasn't just his devil fruit. It was his presence. His existence alone kept the world in balance. When he died, the entire power structure collapsed. That's real strength in the One Piece universe. So when we talk about the strongest characters, we're not just asking who wins in a one-on-one fight. We're asking who shapes the world, who has the will to stand at the very top, who possesses power that transcends physical combat. And with that framework in mind, let's break down the real list. Let's start with why the community gets this so wrong. Most power scaling in the One Piece fandom is based on fight outcomes. Luffy beat Kaido, so Luffy is stronger than Kaido. Simple, right? Wrong. Oda doesn't write fights like a tournament bracket. He writes them as narrative moments. Context matters more than raw power levels. Take Marineford. Whitebeard was dying, weakened by age and sickness. He still shook the entire war. He still made admirals hesitate. Akainu got a clean hit on him, but does that make Akainu stronger than a prime Whitebeard? Absolutely not. Yet fans use that fight to rank Akainu above Whitebeard all the time. Here's another example. Shanks stopped Kaido from reaching Marineford. We never saw the confrontation, but Kaido turned back. Does that mean Shanks is stronger? Or does it mean Shanks has a specific ability or knowledge that makes Kaido reconsider? Oda loves these ambiguous moments because they fuel discussion, but they also reveal something deeper. Strength in One Piece is not linear. Now let's talk about Haki, because this is the great equalizer. Advanced Conqueror's Haki lets you coat your attacks and clash without even touching. We've seen this with Roger, Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, Shanks, and now Luffy. But there are levels to this. Roger and Whitebeard split the sky decades ago. Shanks can knock out vice admirals just by walking onto a ship. Kaido's Conqueror's Haki was so refined he could infuse it into his dragon form. But then there's something even beyond that. Observation Haki that lets you see the future. Armament Haki that flows and destroys from the inside. And the rarest form of all, the ability to hear the voice of all things. Roger had it. Luffy has it. Momonosuke has it. This isn't just combat strength. This is a connection to the world's very essence. So before we rank anyone, remember this. Devil fruits can be countered. Physical strength has limits. But Haki, willpower, and the ability to change the world, that's what defines the true strongest. Let's talk about the old generation first, because they set the standard. Gol D Roger, the Pirate King. He conquered the Grand Line without a devil fruit. Let that sink in. In a world where people can turn into magma, control earthquakes, and transform into dragons, Roger did it all with Haki and a sword. His Conqueror's Haki was so powerful it could match Whitebeard's earthquake punches. But here's what makes Roger truly the strongest. He didn't just have power, he had knowledge. He reached Laugh Tale. He learned the truth of the world. And even knowing he was dying, he used his execution to spark the great pirate era. Roger's strength wasn't just in battle, it was in his ability to change the course of history with a single sentence. Then there's Whitebeard, Edward Newgate, the man who could destroy the world if he wanted to. The Gura Gura no Mi is officially the strongest paramecia, and Whitebeard mastered it to perfection. He could split islands, create tsunamis, and tilt the ocean itself. But again, his real power was his presence. Whitebeard's existence prevented war. His family of pirates was so loyal, they would die for him. Even in death, he stood tall, never showing his back to an enemy. Gol D Xebec. We don't know much about him, but we know this. It took both Roger and Garp together to stop him. Think about that. The Pirate King and the Marine hero had to team up. Rox commanded a crew that included Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido, all in their prime. Whatever power Rox had, it was enough to nearly overthrow the world government itself. Oda is keeping him mysterious for a reason, and when we finally learn the full story, it's going to redefine everything we know about strength in this series. Now here's where it gets interesting. Monkey D. Garp, the man who refused promotion to Admiral multiple times because he didn't want to serve the Celestial Dragons directly. Garp has no devil fruit, yet he's called the hero of the Marines. He fought Roger countless times and they were equals. In his old age, he's still throwing warships like baseballs and splitting mountains with his fists. Garp represents something crucial. You don't need a devil fruit to stand at the top, you just need unbreakable will. But here's the twist, none of these legends are the strongest character in the series right now. And the character who currently holds that title might not even keep it by the end of the story. Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal is going to change how you see the entire power structure of One Piece. Let's talk about the Yonko. Kaido was introduced as the strongest creature in the world. Not the strongest human. The strongest creature. That distinction matters. Kaido has the strongest Zoan devil fruit, a mythical dragon that gives him insane durability, elemental attacks, and multiple forms. He mastered all 3 forms of Haki, including Advanced Conqueror's coating. He lifted an entire island and kept it floating while fighting multiple opponents. Kaido's endurance is unmatched. He fought the Scabbards, the Worst Generation, Yamato, and then Luffy in Gear Fifth, all back to back. But Kaido lost. Does that mean he's not the strongest? Not exactly. Kaido lost because Luffy awakened the most ridiculous power in the world. Gear Fifth, the true form of the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. This is where Oda flipped the script on everyone. Luffy's fruit isn't just rubber, it's freedom itself. It bends reality. It turns imagination into power. In Gear Fifth, Luffy can grab lightning, run on air, and turn his surroundings into rubber. He fought Kaido with cartoon logic and won. Does that make current Luffy the strongest? Maybe, but there's one character who still stands above everyone, and it's not who you think. Shanks, red-haired Shanks. The man with no devil fruit, no scars except the one from Blackbeard. The youngest Yonko who met with the 5 elders personally. Shanks ended the Marineford War with just his presence. He scared off Blackbeard, who had 2 devil fruits. Green Bull, a Marine admiral, retreated the moment he sensed Shanks's Haki from miles away. Shanks destroyed Kid's entire crew in one move using what fans are calling divine departure. The same attack Roger used. Here's what makes Shanks the strongest right now. He has perfect mastery of Haki. No devil fruit weakness, complete respect from both pirates and the world government, and knowledge of something that makes even the 5 elders listen to him. Shanks isn't just strong, he's untouchable. Oda has been saving him for the final saga, and when we finally see him go all out, it's going to redefine what peak strength looks like. But there's one more character we need to discuss. Imu, the shadow ruler of the world. We've seen Imu erase entire islands with an ancient weapon. We've seen them sit on the empty throne that no one is supposed to occupy. Imu has lived for centuries, possibly immortal. We don't know their full power yet. But if they're the final villain, they have to be stronger than anyone we've seen. Imu represents the ultimate strength in One Piece, the power to erase history itself. So here's the final ranking based on everything we know. At number 5, Kaido, the strongest creature, unmatched endurance, but ultimately defeated. At number 4, Monkey D. Luffy in Gear Fifth. He has the power of a god, but he's still growing. At number 3, Gol D. Xebec. We haven't seen his full power, but the fact that it took Roger and Garp together puts him here. At number 2, Shanks. Perfect Haki, no weaknesses, and he's holding back something massive. And at number 1, Imu, the true ruler of the world with centuries of hidden power. But here's the twist that changes everything. Oda doesn't care about who's physically strongest. He cares about who has the strongest will. Roger became Pirate King not because he was the most powerful, but because he was the freest. Luffy will surpass everyone not because of Gear Fifth, but because his dream is bigger than anyone else's. Strength in One Piece has never been about who can punch the hardest. It's about who can inspire the world, who can make people believe in freedom, who can stand up to gods and laugh. When the series ends, Luffy might not be the strongest fighter, but he'll be the strongest in the way that actually matters. The way that makes him the Pirate King. So what do you think? Did I get the ranking right or did I miss someone? Drop your own top 5 in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe to One Piece Uncovered for more theories, breakdowns, and hidden details from the greatest story ever told. And here's a question to leave you with. If Gol D Xebec came back right now, could anyone in the current era actually stop him? Or would it take another team-up of legendary rivals? Let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.